So these are 72 cell grass plug flats. Not specifically for grass, but that's what I use them for. That are sold, I get them through Greenhouse Megastore. But you can use a lot of different things. You can use recycled 6-packs. You can use like any sort of store container that you want that has like at least this much space. So like those like mushroom bins that your mushrooms come in from the grocery store. You could use those and then kind of like cut the grass plugs apart if you wanted to. There's a lot of options if you don't want to, because these are kind of expensive. They're like $2 a piece. You can keep using them over and over again, but shipping included, it's a little bit spendy. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've filled this whole flat with a 40% perlite, 40% vermiculite, 20% peat moss mix. And then when I have gotten it all the way full, I'll make sure that the soil is moist, and then I'll take an empty one and I'll go ahead and I'll push it down so that the soil, I know that the soil, like all of the cells are filled, because if you have empty space, then that'll cause problem with your grass plugs. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and seed them. And different people want to seed them at different thicknesses. So I've got blue grama grass seed here. I'm just going to see if I can get this. I'm multitasking on video. I'll just go ahead and sprinkle it around like that. And you can go thicker, you can go lighter on the seed. If you go lighter on the seed, you're just gonna have to wait longer until they're ready. If you go thicker, then you need to keep in mind that you're gonna need to get them in the ground really quickly once they're the right size. Because they start getting really root bound and then they just kind of start to rot from the base. So now that I have all of these cells filled with my grass seed, I'm gonna just go ahead and, this is probably a little wetter than I want it. I'm just gonna go ahead and put soil on, and then I just scoot it around, and I want like 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch of soil over the top of everything. And then once these are all ready to go, you're gonna wanna water them in really well. And you're gonna need to water them once or twice a day, every day, until they're ready to go into the ground. So it's a little labor intensive to do this. And then I just scoot off the extra onto this tray. And then I've got, you know, grass seed in here too, but as long as I'm doing the same grass in each flat, it's not a problem. Okay, so grass seed wise, you can collect grass seed in the fall here. I get a lot of my seed from Western Native Grass, or Western Native Seed. You can get it through a few different online sources. I think Warner's has some grass seed of a few different varieties as well. I guess there's not a lot of options. Online, Warner's. We're going to be selling some at the farmer's market and anywhere else that we are doing sales. We're going to be selling blue grama grass seed at least. Native Plant and Seed does have an online store where you can buy a few different varieties of grass seed still. So if you're trying to buy local, I'm sure they'd really appreciate you buying through them. Yeah, so grass plugs are a great option if you are trying to kind of rehab a particular area in your yard. You can do just direct seeding, especially with blue grama. That seems to work pretty well. But this is kind of like the best way for you to get the most bang out of your buck for your grass seeds. and then it really gives them a good foothold, and then they can kind of like spread from there. So I'm a big fan. I've been using grass plugs and selling grass plugs to folks who are doing rehab projects in their yards pretty regularly. Restoration projects, I guess, is probably a nicer way to put it. I always sow them so that they're ready approximately around the beginning of monsoons, which is, I'm going to say mid-July now, early to mid-July. And that's kind of the best time for you to be doing grass plugs. So if you kind of missed the boat on it this year and you want us to make some grass seed flats for you, feel free to get a hold of me, flagstafflily@gmail.com, and we can put you on our list for sowing grass flats. Probably also my last grass flats in mid-June, and then after that it'll be getting a little late in the year, because you do need to keep in mind with whatever grass variety that you're growing, that some of them are warm season grasses and some of them are cool season grasses. So some of them you can put out before they're, you can plant them really early in the year when there's still frosts and not have to worry about them. But things like blue grama, it's a good idea to give them a decent amount of time during the warm season to grow before it starts getting too cold and they stop growing and die back for the year. So keep that in mind as well. Do a little bit of research, because if you're gonna go ahead and put that much time and effort into it, then you really want to get a good return on your investment of time.